Have you ever stopped and wondered something truly strange? Why can a starfish regrow an entire arm? But we humans, with all our advanced medicine, our technology, our brilliance, supposedly can't regrow anything. What if I told you that wasn't true anymore? What if your body already has the ability to regenerate itself from the inside out, not in some distant, futuristic lab, but right now, while you're sleeping tonight, or even through the simple foods you might eat for breakfast tomorrow morning? Today, we're going to uncover something extraordinary, something most people have no idea their bodies can do. Inside, you are hidden repair teams, microscopic crews that never stop working. And at the center of it all are your stem cells. These are the body's master repair cells, and under the right conditions, they can be awakened, multiplied, and guided to restore health from within. And yes, there's one simple food, something you probably already love, that can help multiply these stem cells, protect your heart, and even lower your risk of serious illness. This isn't science fiction. This is your body's actual design, waiting to be reactivated. Let me take you back for a moment. When I was a child sitting in grade school, I still remember the day our teacher stood at the front of the class and talked about regeneration. She said, "A starfish can regrow an arm. A salamander can grow back a leg." It sounded like magic. But then came the disappointing part, the part she said with absolute certainty. Unfortunately, humans can't regenerate. We're just not built that way. And for years I believed her. We all did. That was the accepted truth, the biological limit of being human. But now, we know something that changes everything. She was wrong. Humans do regenerate. Not as fast or as visibly as a salamander, but we absolutely do it, every single day. We just do it quietly, gradually, from the inside out. Think about it. Every time you get a paper cut and it heals, that's regeneration. When your hair grows back after a trim, when your skin repairs after a scrape, when the lining of your gut renews itself every few days, that's regeneration in action. Right now, as you listen to this, millions of tiny repair operations are happening inside you. You don't feel them. You don't see them. But they're taking place in every organ, every tissue, every cell. And at the heart of it all are those stem cells, the most powerful building blocks of life. You've probably heard the term stem cells before, in headlines or on the news. But let's break down what they really are, in simple, clear terms. Because once you understand this, everything about your body will make more sense. Stem cells are what I like to call undecided cells. They haven't yet chosen what they want to become. They're like young people just out of school, full of potential, full of possibility, not yet locked into any single path. A stem cell can become anything your body needs. A brain cell, a heart cell, a liver cell, a skin cell. Whatever is damaged or worn out, stem cells can become the new replacement part. That's why they're called stem cells, because they're at the stem, the origin point of life's great tree, before the branches split off in all directions. Here's the astonishing part. You were entirely formed from stem cells. When your father's sperm met your mother's egg, that first tiny cell, you, was nothing but a bundle of stem cells. No organs, no skin, no heartbeat yet, just raw potential. And from that single cluster of undifferentiated life, every part of you began to form. Your eyes, your lungs, your bones, your brain, your heart. Every cell you have today can trace its lineage back to those first stem cells. Now, here's where nature gets brilliant. When you were developing, your body made more stem cells than it actually needed. A surplus, a backup reserve, like extra paint cans for finishing the last corner of a room. Why? Because nature doesn't like risk. It wanted to be sure you'd never run out of the materials needed for repair. So those extra stem cells didn't vanish when you were born. They were stored away, carefully packed into your bone marrow, your skin, and your body fat. Three powerful reservoirs filled with dormant repair potential. Think of these storage sites like beehives. Thousands of tiny workers tucked away, resting, waiting for the signal to leave the hive and rebuild what's broken. And from the moment you took your first breath until right now, this repair system has been standing by, quietly watching over you. When you scrape your knee, when you strain your heart, when your organs take wear and tear from life, signals go out. Chemical messengers whisper through your bloodstream, "We need help." Those stem cells wake up, leave their hives, travel through your veins like bees on a mission, find the damaged site, and begin to rebuild it, cell by cell, tissue by tissue. This is happening right now as you listen. Thousands of micro-repair missions every second. You don't feel it, but it's one of the most sophisticated systems in all of nature. So if we have such incredible regenerative power, why do we slow down with age? Why do our bodies heal more slowly? Why does recovery take longer? And why do we feel like our inner machinery just isn't running as smoothly as it once did? The answer lies in the vitality of those stem cells. As we age, our stem cells don't disappear. They simply grow sluggish. They're still there in your bone marrow and skin, but they respond less quickly. They circulate less often. They can even get stunned by certain things floating in your bloodstream, like too much sugar, alcohol, or unhealthy fats. Those molecules interfere with your stem cells' ability to leave their hive and get to work. It's like a fog in their path. But here's the empowering truth, and this is the heart of what I want you to take from this part. You can help your stem cells. You can wake them up. You can make them stronger, more active, and more responsive. And you do that through three essential levers: how you sleep, how you eat, and how you rest. Let's start with sleep, the most underestimated medicine of all. When you fall into deep, restorative sleep, especially the phase called REM sleep, something miraculous happens inside your brain. There's a hidden system, almost like a sewage network, called the glymphatic system. You've probably heard of the lymphatic system that cleans waste from the body. The glymphatic system does the same, but specifically for your brain. During the day, while you're awake, your brain is busy processing, thinking, reacting. The cleaning crew can't enter yet. But when you fall into deep sleep, your brain's gates open. The glymphatic system floods through, washing away toxins, removing metabolic waste, clearing out the debris of the day. It's like a nighttime janitor service, quietly sweeping through the corridors of your mind. If you've ever woken up after poor sleep and felt foggy or dull, that's why. The cleaning crew never came. The waste stayed behind. And when that happens night after night, the buildup grows, fogging your thinking, dulling your focus, and even, some researchers believe, contributing to memory loss over time. But when you get good, deep sleep, something amazing happens. Your brain clears itself, your cells refresh, and your stem cells receive the message, it's time to repair. Deep sleep is the signal for regeneration. It's when your body quietly rebuilds itself from the inside out. That's why a good night's sleep before an exam doesn't just help memory. It helps restoration. So yes, sleep isn't a luxury. It's one of your most powerful regenerative tools. And when those stem cells wake up, when they start leaving their storage hives, they need something else: fuel. They need the right nutrients, the right signals from your diet that tell them, repair the heart, fix that blood vessel, rebuild that tissue. That's where things get even more fascinating. Because researchers have discovered that certain foods can literally double the number of stem cells circulating in your blood in just weeks. And one of the most powerful of these is a food you probably already love: cacao, the raw plant used to make chocolate. Now, before you imagine candy bars, let's be clear. This isn't about sugary, processed chocolate. This is about pure, high flavanol cacao, rich in natural compounds that act like a flare for your stem cells. In clinical studies, Men in their 60s who drank 2 cups of high flavanol cocoa every day for a month saw something remarkable. The number of stem cells in their bloodstream doubled. Not just a small increase, doubled. Their circulation improved, their blood vessels relaxed, and their blood pressure dropped. Even large-scale studies like the Cosmos trial showed that people who regularly consumed high flavanol cocoa had a significantly lower risk of dying from heart disease. Why? Because cacao sends a biochemical message to your bone marrow, your stem cell hive, saying, "Wake up, it's time to repair." Those cells rush into your bloodstream and start rebuilding damaged tissue, strengthening your heart, your arteries, your skin. Cacao isn't just a treat, it's a signal to your biology. And cacao isn't the only one. Another familiar friend in your kitchen, black tea, has a similar regenerative power. Researchers in Italy discovered that compounds in black tea also trigger the release of stem cells from the bone marrow. One particular type, Earl Grey, flavored with bergamot, turned out to be especially potent. So when you sip a strong cup of tea, imagine it calling your stem cells to action, like bees leaving the hive, flying through your bloodstream, seeking out damaged tissue, and quietly repairing it. You're not just drinking tea, you're awakening your body's renewal system. And that brings us to the third lever of regeneration. Not what you eat, but when you don't eat. Fasting. Specifically, intermittent fasting, the ancient practice of giving your body a break from constant digestion. Most people don't realize this, but we already fast every day when we sleep. That's why our morning meal is called breakfast. It literally means breaking the fast. Now, modern science has shown that extending that fasting window, even a few hours, activates deep repair mechanisms. When you fast, your body clears out old, damaged stem cells and calls up fresh ones to replace them. It's like changing the batteries in a flashlight. Out with the old, in with the new. Fasting also resets your gut microbiome, cleaning out the harmful bacteria and making room for the beneficial ones that lower inflammation and strengthen your immune system. It even repairs your DNA, fixing tiny copying errors that happen naturally every day. And on a deeper level, fasting slows down cellular aging by protecting something called telomeres, the little caps on your DNA strands that shorten with age. Fasting keeps those caps longer, meaning your cells stay younger. So, let's pause and take this in. Your body has an ancient, elegant system designed to keep you young. It regenerates quietly every night while you sleep. It responds to the foods you eat, and even to the moments you don't eat. And when you feed it the right signals, deep rest, high flavanol cacao, black tea, intermittent fasting, you awaken the hidden potential within. Right now, your stem cells are waiting, packed in your bone marrow, your skin, your fat, ready for your signal. Ready to rebuild, to renew, to regenerate. And this is just the beginning. Because in the next part, we'll go even deeper into the 5 hidden defense systems that protect you every single day from disease, aging, and decline. Systems so powerful that, when you learn to support them, they can change the way you age forever. If your body already has stem cells, these tiny, intelligent repair teams, constantly working to keep you healthy, then you might be wondering, why do we still get sick? Why do we age? Why do some cells go wrong, creating diseases like cancer or heart failure, if we're built with this miraculous self-healing system? That's a fair question, but it's also the beginning of something extraordinary. Because the real mystery isn't why we get cancer. The real mystery is why we don't get it all the time. Think about it. Every single day, you're exposed to things that could potentially cause harm. Ultraviolet rays from the sun, chemicals in the air, residues in food, even the natural byproducts of your body's own metabolism. And yet, most of us live decades, sometimes a century, without ever developing serious disease. How is that possible? The answer lies in 5 incredible defense systems, built into your biology from the moment you were born. These systems are not passive. They are active, intelligent, and constantly working in harmony. They're the silent guardians of your health, patrolling your body every moment of your life, finding damage, repairing it, and eliminating threats before they can grow. But before we dive into them, let's revisit something truly profound, because it changes how you see yourself. Every single day, your body makes about 40 trillion new cells just to keep you alive. And each one of those cells must copy its DNA perfectly, a process so complex it makes the most advanced computer look primitive. Yet even in this perfection, mistakes happen, tiny errors, tiny slips in the code. On average, about 10,000 microscopic mutations occur in your body every single day. If you could zoom in, you'd see these tiny glitches forming like specks of dust. Small, insignificant, invisible. But in theory, those errors could grow into something dangerous. They could become cancer. So the astonishing truth is this. Every single day, your body quietly forms thousands of microscopic cancers. And every single day, your body destroys them before they can harm you. That's how powerful your internal defense systems are. They are constantly working to protect you, and most of the time, they succeed. Let's uncover what they are. Defense system. Number 1. Your immune system. The body's police force. Picture your immune system as a vast, 24-hour police patrol moving through the streets of your body. Your bloodstream is the highway, your organs are the neighborhoods, and your immune cells are the officers, alert, trained, and always watching. They recognize every citizen of your body, every normal cell that belongs. So when they spot a cell that looks suspicious, maybe a cell that's mutated or behaving oddly, they pull it over, question it, and if necessary, remove it. It's the world's most sophisticated surveillance network. Right now, your immune system is inspecting billions of cells, making microscopic judgments in real time. And when it detects something dangerous, a virus, a bacteria, a rogue cell, it acts instantly. Most of us never notice these daily battles because the immune system wins quietly. But when it's overwhelmed, when you're sleep-deprived, malnourished, or stressed, the patrols slow down. They miss things. That's when infections take hold. That's when inflammation flares up. That's when cells that should have been destroyed get a head start. But when your immune system is strong, when you sleep well, eat nourishing foods, and move your body, it becomes an unstoppable army. It's your first and most powerful line of defense. Defense system H2, blood vessel regulation, starving the threat. Let's imagine for a moment that one of those rogue cells slips through the cracks. Your immune system misses it. It starts dividing, multiplying, creating its own small colony. At first, it's harmless, just a few cells in the wrong place. But if it wants to grow, it needs one thing: blood. Every cell in your body needs oxygen and nutrients, and those come from your blood vessels. Without them, a cell can't grow beyond the size of a pinhead. And this is where your second defense system comes in. Angiogenesis regulation. Angio means blood vessel, and genesis means creation. Your body has the ability to decide when and where to build new blood vessels, and when to stop. This system is like an urban planner with strict rules. When you cut yourself, it says, "We need new roads here. Send in the blood supply for healing." But when a potential cancer cell tries to send out a fake request for blood vessels, your body can recognize the deception and say, "Denied." That's how your body starves dangerous growths before they can spread. In fact, one of the most fascinating areas of medical research is anti-angiogenesis therapy, which tries to mimic what your body already does naturally. And here's what's truly empowering. The foods you eat can directly support this defense. Certain nutrients strengthen your ability to regulate blood vessel growth, meaning you can literally make it harder for disease to take root just by eating wisely. Defense system number 3. Inflammation control, keeping the fire cool. If you've ever burned your hand or twisted an ankle, you've seen inflammation firsthand: redness, heat, swelling. That's your body's emergency response team rushing in to heal damage. In small doses, inflammation is vital. It kills germs, clears debris, and jumpstarts repair. But when that system stays on too long, when it never shuts off, that's when the trouble begins. Chronic inflammation is like a smoldering fire that never dies out. It quietly damages your arteries, your nerves, your organs. It accelerates aging, weakens your immune system, and fuels diseases like diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, even depression. When inflammation runs wild, it's like gasoline on the embers of potential illness. But your body has mechanisms to regulate it, to fan the flames when needed, and then cool them down once the job is done. A healthy gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside your intestines, plays a huge role here. When those gut bacteria are balanced and nourished, they produce compounds that reduce inflammation throughout your body. When they're out of balance, inflammation spreads. That's why the foods you eat, the amount of sleep you get, and even your stress levels all directly affect inflammation. Because those signals tell your body whether to burn or to heal. Defense system number 4. DNA repair, the genetic spell check. Earlier, we talked about how your body copies its DNA billions of times a day. An unimaginable process that requires microscopic precision. But just like any copying process, errors happen. And here's where your 4th defense system shines. The DNA repair mechanism. This is your body's built-in spell checker. Tiny molecular teams constantly scan your DNA, looking for typos, breaks, or errors in the genetic code. When they find one, they fix it, cutting out the damaged section, copying the correct sequence, and pasting it back perfectly. They do this millions of times a day. You never feel it, but this constant editing protects you from diseases, aging, and decline. However, this system needs rest and support. When you sleep deeply, when you fast periodically, when you eat antioxidant-rich foods like berries, greens, and cacao, your DNA repair teams work better. But when you're stressed, sleep-deprived, or eating processed foods, those crews slow down, and small errors start to accumulate. Over years, those uncorrected errors can lead to trouble. That's why supporting DNA repair through lifestyle isn't optional. It's fundamental to long-term vitality. Defense system number 5, stem cell renewal, the body's master rebuilders. And then there's the 5th defense, the one we explored in part 1, stem cells. These are your body's construction teams, the repair workers that come in after the damage is done. When tissue breaks down, when organs get injured, when your blood vessels or skin cells grow old and tired, your stem cells step in to rebuild. They replace the damaged cells with fresh, healthy ones. They keep your tissues functioning smoothly. They are your body's built-in renewal mechanism. But just like the other systems, they can slow down if you don't support them. Too much sugar, alcohol, or processed food stuns them. Lack of sleep starves them. But sleep, fasting, and stem cell activating foods like cacao and black tea can bring them roaring back to life. They are the 5th and final defense, the one that keeps your body youthful from the inside out. Now, here's the beautiful truth. These 5 defense systems don't work in isolation. They're deeply connected, each one supporting and enhancing the others. Your immune system depends on low inflammation. Your DNA repair depends on sleep. Your stem cells depend on blood vessel regulation and nutrient delivery. It's a web, and when one strand weakens, the whole system suffers. But when you nurture all 5, your body becomes a fortress, adaptable, resilient, alive. So how do you strengthen them? Let's translate this science into everyday action, because real regeneration begins at the table, in your habits, and in your rest. Start with what you drink. Coffee and tea are both packed with polyphenols. plant compounds that act like shields for your DNA, support your blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and, in the case of tea, awaken your stem cells. Even decaffeinated versions work beautifully, so if you're sensitive to caffeine, you still get the benefits. Try coffee in the morning, tea in the evening, a rhythm that energizes and repairs. Next, reach for tree nuts, walnuts, almonds, pistachios, macadamias. They're rich in fiber, healthy fats, and compounds that not only support your gut bacteria, but also target cancer stem cells directly. Then, add tomatoes, nature's powerhouse of lycopene. Whether raw in salads or roasted in olive oil, they help protect your blood vessels and reduce inflammation. Fourth, embrace berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. They're rich in antioxidants and fiber, calming inflammation and protecting DNA. And finally, fill your plate with leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables, kale, bok choy, collards, escarole. They feed your gut bacteria, reduce inflammation, and keep all 5 defenses strong at once. Now, let's pause for a reality check. You don't need to eat these foods like medicine, measuring grams, counting milligrams. That's not sustainable. What matters most is that you enjoy them. Food isn't just fuel, it's connection. It's culture, family, love, and life itself. So if you already love coffee or tea, great, you're already ahead. If you enjoy nuts or berries, even better. Build from what you already love, because when you enjoy the process, you stick with it. And when you stick with it, you transform your biology naturally. Every bite you take, every night you rest, every time you fast, you're sending messages to your cells. You're saying, wake up, stem cells, repair. Stay sharp, immune system, protect. Keep fixing errors, DNA repair crews. Stay calm, inflammation regulators. Starve the threats, blood, vessel network. You are constantly communicating with your own biology, whether you realize it or not. And those messages determine how you age, how you heal, and how long you thrive. So when you make a choice, to sleep a little longer, to choose tea over soda, to add berries instead of sugar, to take that quiet evening walk, you're not just improving your habits. You're activating your 5 hidden defense systems. You're signaling your body, stay alive, stay strong, stay young. And it will listen. Because your body is not a machine that wears out. It's a living ecosystem designed to renew itself again and again. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into how regeneration and renewal actually feel. What changes happen inside your organs when your stem cells, your immune system, and your defenses all begin working in harmony. We'll explore what happens when your heart repairs quietly, when your brain clears itself, and when your body starts turning back its own clock. Because regeneration isn't a fantasy. It's already happening right now, inside you. Now that you understand your body's 5 defense systems, the immune patrol, the blood vessel gatekeepers, the inflammation regulators, the DNA repair crews, and your stem cells, let's go deeper. Because what happens when all 5 begin to work in harmony is nothing short of miraculous. This isn't about theory. It's happening right now, quietly inside you, whether you notice it or not. Let's explore what regeneration actually looks like in motion. What's really taking place as your body repairs itself, second by second, cell by cell. The silent symphony of healing. Every heartbeat, every breath, every tiny movement inside you is part of a continuous renewal process. Your heart isn't the same heart it was 10 years ago. Your skin isn't the same skin you had last month. Your gut lining isn't even the same as it was last week. Your body is constantly recycling itself, replacing, repairing, rebuilding, piece by piece. In fact, scientists estimate that over 95% of the atoms in your body are replaced every year. That means, on a cellular level, you are quite literally a new person every 12 months. And it's all because of these internal systems, working in unison to identify damage, remove what's broken, and replace it with something new. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly, like the ocean tides, endless and patient. That's the beauty of regeneration. You don't have to force it. You only have to support it. The regenerating heart. Let's begin with one of the most fascinating examples, your heart. For decades, scientists believed the heart couldn't repair itself, that heart cells were fixed for life. We were told that once heart tissue was damaged, it stayed damaged forever. But that turned out to be wrong. In the last decade, researchers discovered that the human heart does regenerate, slowly, subtly, but undeniably. Every year, around 1% of your heart cells renew themselves. That might sound small, but over a lifetime, it means that up to half of your heart is made of cells that weren't there when you were born. And what activates this regeneration? You guessed it, your stem cells. When your heart experiences stress or injury, it releases chemical signals that call stem cells out of your bone marrow and fat tissue. They travel through your bloodstream, home in on the damaged area, and begin rebuilding. These new cells integrate into your heart tissue, replacing old, tired, or scarred cells with new, healthy ones. Now imagine what happens when you help this process. When you give your body the right signals through sleep, fasting, and stem cell supporting foods like cacao and tea. You're not just preventing damage. You're giving your heart the raw materials to rebuild itself. That's why small, consistent choices, like lowering sugar, staying hydrated, and eating polyphenol-rich foods, can have such powerful long-term effects. They're not just healthy habits. They're molecular instructions, whispers to your heart that say, repair, renew, stay strong. The cleansing brain. Now let's move upward to the most complex organ of all, your brain. We once believed the adult brain couldn't grow new neurons, that memory loss, forgetfulness, and mental fog were inevitable as we aged. But again, science proved otherwise. Deep within your brain are regions, like the hippocampus, the area responsible for learning and memory, that contain their own neural stem cells. These cells can create brand new neurons even in adulthood. That means your brain is not a static organ. It's a living forest, constantly pruning and planting new growth. And this process of neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells, thrives on some of the same things we've already talked about. Deep sleep, especially REM sleep, which activates the glymphatic system to wash away toxins. Fasting, which boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a natural compound that stimulates new neuron growth. Polyphenol-rich foods like cacao and green tea, which increase blood flow to the brain and protect neurons from oxidative stress. Every night when you sleep well, your brain clears itself like a city being washed by the rain. And every morning, your neurons are more connected, more alive, more ready to learn. That's regeneration, not just in theory, but in practice. The self-renewing gut. Now let's travel downward to your gut, where regeneration happens faster than anywhere else in your body. The lining of your intestines completely renews itself every 3 to 5 days. That's right. The cells that help you digest food today will be gone by next week, replaced by a brand new layer. Why so fast? Because your gut is on the front lines, exposed daily to acids, enzymes, bacteria, and whatever you eat. To protect itself, it's constantly shedding and rebuilding its walls. And here's the key. This regeneration depends heavily on your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside you. When those bacteria are balanced and diverse, they produce compounds like butyrate, which tell your stem cells in the gut lining to divide and replace old cells. But when your microbiome is out of balance, from processed food, sugar, or lack of fiber, that regeneration slows. The gut barrier weakens. Inflammation rises. That's why feeding your microbiome with fiber-rich foods, berries, nuts, leafy greens, is so important. You're not just supporting digestion. You're maintaining one of the body's fastest repair systems. Every meal you eat sends signals to your gut. Protect, rebuild, stay strong. The healing skin. Now, let's step outward, to the body's largest organ, your skin. Your skin regenerates constantly too. In fact, it replaces itself roughly every 27 days. New cells form in the deepest layer, the dermis, and gradually move upward, maturing as they go. By the time they reach the surface, they form the protective layer you can touch. Then, when those cells die, they're shed naturally, and the process begins again. This is why your skin can heal from scratches, burns, or scars. Because stem cells embedded deep in the dermis are always standing by, ready to rebuild. And when you nourish those cells from within, through hydration, antioxidants, and sleep, your skin responds beautifully. It glows, not because of makeup or creams, but because it's literally renewing itself from the inside. That's what healthy skin really means. Regeneration visible to the naked eye. The liver, the regeneration champion. Among all your organs, one stands out as the true regeneration champion, the liver. It's the only organ in your body that can regrow itself almost completely. Even if up to 70% of it is removed or damaged, the remaining portion can regenerate into a full, functional organ within weeks. The liver does this through an extraordinary process. When cells are lost, nearby healthy cells divide and expand to fill the space. And guess what supports this process? Stem cells, antioxidants, and, once again, polyphenols from foods like green tea, cacao, and berries. The liver is also the body's primary detoxifier. So, when you support regeneration here, you're helping your entire system function better. From hormone balance to fat metabolism to immune strength. Every sip of water, every antioxidant-rich meal, every night of rest gives your liver the tools it needs to renew itself. Regeneration. Slows, but never stops by now. You might be thinking, if our bodies regenerate constantly, why do we still feel older with time? Why do we wrinkle, lose energy, or heal more slowly? The truth is, regeneration doesn't stop with age. It just slows down. Mostly because we stop giving our bodies the signals they need. Our sleep becomes irregular. Our diets get more processed. Stress increases. We stop moving as much. But when you reverse those trends, when you start sleeping deeply again, eating plant-rich, antioxidant-packed foods, staying active, and fasting periodically, regeneration picks back up. Studies on older adults prove it. Men in their 60s drinking high flavanol cacao doubled their circulating stem cells. Seniors who practiced intermittent fasting improved their stem cell function and immune strength. And older adults who added tea, nuts, and leafy greens to their diets lowered inflammation and improved tissue repair. So it's not that your body can't regenerate anymore. It's that it's waiting for your permission. And every healthy choice you make is a green light that says, go ahead, rebuild. The quiet work of night and rest. When we think of healing, we often imagine something active, exercise, medicine, movement. But some of the most powerful regeneration happens when you're doing absolutely nothing. When you sleep deeply, your body orchestrates thousands of micro-repairs. Your brain clears waste. Your DNA repair enzymes fix errors. Your stem cells wake and divide. Your liver detoxifies. Your skin renews. Your heart recalibrates. It's a nocturnal symphony, all happening quietly while you rest. That's why deep, consistent sleep is non-negotiable. It's not laziness. It's maintenance. Skipping sleep isn't saving time. It's robbing your body of its chance to heal. So when you prioritize rest, you're not just preventing fatigue. You're giving your cells the conditions to repair and grow stronger. The power of micro-regeneration. Not every act of healing is dramatic. Sometimes it's microscopic, but it adds up. When you take a short walk, your circulation improves, bringing oxygen to your tissues. When you choose walnuts instead of chips, your inflammation lowers. When you pause between meals, your stem cells renew. When you laugh, oxytocin floods your system, reducing stress hormones. Each of these moments is a small act of regeneration, and together, they create momentum, the quiet rebuilding of vitality over time. You won't see it in the mirror tomorrow, but over weeks, months, and years, it shows. In your skin, in your energy, in your resilience. Regeneration is patient, but it's powerful. Rebuilding your spark. So here's the truth. You're regenerating right now. This isn't something you start. It's something you reawaken. Your cells are listening every moment to your thoughts, your habits, your sleep, your food, your stress, your joy. They're responding to every signal you send. When you fill your life with signals of health, rest, movement, gratitude, nourishment, your body listens. It rebuilds. It rebalances. It begins to glow from within. That's why people who change their lifestyle, not just with diets, but with purpose and calm, often seem to reverse age. Because their biology has started listening to new instructions. Regeneration isn't about chasing youth. It's about supporting life, the quiet, powerful force that's been with you since the day you were born. The new understanding of aging. Here's the most revolutionary idea science now supports. Aging is not simply the passing of time. It's the accumulation of unhealed damage. But your body has built-in tools to heal, if you give them the right environment. So, aging, in many ways, is a communication problem. Your cells stop getting the signals they need to regenerate. But when you reestablish that communication through nutrition, sleep, fasting, and movement, you give your body what it's been waiting for all along: permission to heal. That's the true meaning of longevity. Not just living longer, but living well. So remember, every single night as you sleep, every time you eat something nourishing, every time you rest instead of rush, every moment you pause and breathe deeply, your body hears it, and it responds. The healing you seek isn't somewhere out there. It's already inside you, happening quietly, faithfully, every single day. If you've followed our journey so far, you already know this. Your body is not passive. It is active, intelligent, constantly rebuilding itself from the inside out. But there's a question that lingers in every curious mind. If we have these miraculous repair systems, these tireless stem cells, these defense networks always at work, why do we still get sick? Why do diseases like cancer, heart failure, and immune disorders still appear? Here's the astonishing truth. The miracle is not that people sometimes get cancer. The miracle is that most of the time we don't. Every single day, your body experiences damage from sunlight, pollution, chemicals in food, stress, even natural metabolic waste. Each of those exposures has the potential to cause tiny mutations in your cells. Statistically speaking, you should be covered in tumors by now. And yet you're not. That's because your body isn't defenseless. It's guarded by overlapping protection systems. A 5-layer shield that works in silence. We've already met them. The immune patrol, the vascular regulators, the inflammation dampeners, the DNA repair crews, and your stem cells. The ultimate builders. Together, they form a living fortress. Now what if you could amplify those defenses? What if you could give your body simple daily signals that tell it to wake up, to circulate, to heal faster and stronger than before? You can, and you don't need futuristic medicine to do it. You need sleep, fasting, and a few everyday foods that carry astonishing power. Cacao, the wake-up call for your stem cells. Let's begin with one of the most unexpected allies of regeneration: cacao, the pure plant that gives us chocolate. Cacao isn't just a treat. It's a biological trigger. It contains natural compounds called flavonols, and these flavonols act like a signal flare for your stem cells. Clinical trials in Switzerland and Germany proved it. Men in their 60s, not athletes, not patients in special programs, just ordinary people, were given 2 cups of high flavonol cocoa daily for a month. At the end of the study, something remarkable had happened. The number of circulating stem cells in their blood had doubled. Not a tiny uptick, doubled. Their blood vessels became more flexible. Their circulation improved, and their blood pressure dropped. Even more impressive, these changes showed up without major diet or exercise shifts. That's how powerful cacao is when it's pure. And remember, we're talking about real, unsweetened cacao or very dark chocolate, not candy bars drowned in sugar. Here's how it works. Think of your bone marrow as a beehive filled with dormant stem cells, thousands of workers waiting for orders. The flavonols in cacao send the command, "Wake up, it's time to rebuild." The bees leave the hive, flood into your bloodstream, and travel to wherever repair is needed: your heart, your skin, your liver. They patch, replace, and renew. This isn't wishful thinking. It's documented biology. Even large-scale studies like the Cosmos trial have shown that people who regularly consume high flavonol cocoa have a lower risk of dying from heart disease. When you sip real cocoa, you're not indulging. You're activating your own repair crews. Black tea, the everyday elixir of renewal. Cacao isn't alone in this ability. Sitting quietly in almost every kitchen is another regenerative powerhouse: black tea. Researchers in Italy discovered that compounds within black tea, especially the aflavins and catechins, can also trigger stem cell release from the bone marrow. That means a single cup can literally increase the number of circulating repair cells in your body. Among all varieties, one stood out: Earl Grey, the fragrant tea infused with bergamot oil. In lab and human studies, bergamot's unique flavonoids improved blood vessel flexibility and supported mitochondrial energy production, multiplying the effects of the tea itself. Picture it. With every warm sip, your bloodstream receives a quiet signal. Send out the builders. Begin the repairs. Black tea also protects against oxidation, balances cholesterol, and lowers inflammation, giving your stem cells a clear path to work. It's ancient medicine hidden in plain sight. So, tomorrow morning, when you pour that cup, remember, it's not just tea. It's an activation ritual for your regeneration. Fasting, the ancient reset. Now, let's talk about the third and perhaps most powerful tool of all: fasting. It sounds intimidating, but fasting is simply controlled rest for your body. And here's the secret: you already do it every night. That's why breakfast is called breakfast. Modern research shows that extending that natural fasting window, even modestly, changes everything. When you fast, your body enters repair mode. It begins recycling damaged components through a process called autophagy, literally self-eating. It clears out old, malfunctioning stem cells and replaces them with new, vigorous ones. Imagine changing the batteries in a flashlight. That's what fasting does for your repair systems. Even a gentle 12 to 14-hour overnight fast can trigger measurable benefits. It refreshes the gut microbiome, sweeping away harmful bacteria and allowing beneficial ones to thrive. It activates DNA repair enzymes, fixing daily genetic errors. It reduces systemic inflammation, cooling down the slow-burning fires that age us. And it protects the protective caps on your DNA, your telomeres, slowing the cellular clock itself. Longer or intermittent fasts amplify these effects, but the principle is simple. When you give your body time without food, You're not depriving it. You're granting it permission to clean house. Fasting even rejuvenates the immune system by stimulating stem cells in the bone marrow to create brand new white blood cells. It's like issuing fresh recruits to your internal army. And you don't have to be extreme. Even skipping late-night snacks or pushing breakfast a bit later, a few days a week can begin the transformation. The hidden war inside you. What happens when these tools, cacao, tea, fasting, and sleep, begin working together? Something extraordinary. They reactivate the same natural systems that protect you from the world's most feared diseases. Every day, you're exposed to environmental toxins, radiation, stress, and metabolic waste, all capable of mutating your cells. Statistically, thousands of microscopic cancers form in your body every single day. Most people don't know this, but it's true. These tiny clusters of mutated cells are like sparks landing on dry grass. If nothing stops them, they can grow. But most never do. Because your defense systems extinguish them before they can catch fire. Your immune system patrols your tissues like police officers on constant watch, recognizing abnormal cells and removing them. Your blood vessel regulators starve potential tumors by denying them a nutrient supply. Your inflammation control keeps the internal environment calm, denying disease the fuel it needs to spread. Your DNA repair fixes mistakes before they can create lasting damage, and your stem cells restore the healthy tissue that remains. That's why we're not constantly sick. Even though the threats are everywhere, your body's surveillance is astonishingly effective. The role of lifestyle in defense. Here's the crucial insight. While medicine can nudge these defenses, your daily choices control them far more profoundly. Sleep, food, fasting, and stress management are the levers that decide whether these systems operate at full capacity or limp along at half speed. When you flood your bloodstream with sugar or alcohol, you stun your stem cells. When you drown your schedule in stress and cut your sleep short, your immune patrol grows sluggish. When you eat processed fats and skip vegetables, inflammation rises and blood vessel control falters. But when you choose wisely, when you eat nutrient-dense foods, sleep deeply and fast occasionally, your biology shifts back into balance. That's how ordinary habits become extraordinary medicine. The regenerative kitchen. So, what does a day of regeneration actually look like in the real world? Morning. Start with coffee or tea, rich in polyphenols to activate your DNA repair and wake your stem cells. Add a handful of nuts, almonds or walnuts, for healthy fats and fiber. Lunch. Include tomatoes for lycopene and a serving of leafy greens like kale or bok choy for gut and inflammation support. Afternoon. A square of dark, high flavanol chocolate or a small cup of pure cacao. Think of it as your internal switch, the signal that tells your repair cells to circulate. Evening. A light dinner, finishing at least 2 hours before bed, so your body can enter its overnight fast smoothly. End the night with black tea or herbal tea, calm, restorative, gently stimulating your glymphatic and immune systems. And then, sleep. Let the night shift take over. That's a day of biological communication. Not strict dieting, not denial, but harmony. Each meal, each rest period, each sip is a message. Stay young, stay alive, keep building. Balance, not perfection now. This isn't about strict rules. You don't need to eat or drink perfectly every day. Regeneration is cumulative. It builds through consistency, not obsession. One good night's sleep, one antioxidant-rich meal, one gentle fast. They may seem small, but string them together for weeks and months and you ignite a quiet revolution inside your cells. So don't chase extremes, chase balance. Your body doesn't need punishment, it needs partnership. The power you hold right now, inside you, thousands of microscopic repairs are happening. Tiny errors being corrected, damaged cells being replaced, inflammation being cooled. You don't have to feel it for it to be real. Your body isn't waiting for a miracle drug. It's waiting for your cooperation. The most advanced healing technology in the world isn't found in a lab. It's beating in your chest, breathing in your lungs, humming in every cell you have. And with every mindful choice, a cup of tea, a night of rest, a skipped midnight snack, you amplify that technology. You become your own medicine, regeneration, and the future of health. This is where the future of medicine is heading. Not just treating disease after it strikes, but awakening the natural defenses that prevent it in the first place. You already possess this biology. Science is simply catching up to what nature designed. When you understand it, when you realize that your food, your sleep, your fasting rhythm, your mindset are all part of one interconnected communication with your cells, you stop fearing aging. You stop feeling broken. You start feeling powerful again. Because you are. By now, you've learned that your body isn't a static machine that wears out with time. It's a living ecosystem, capable of endless repair. You've seen how stem cells rebuild what's broken, how fasting and sleep awaken them, how food acts as instruction, not just fuel. But there's one final piece, maybe the most powerful of all, the mindset that allows regeneration to last. Because the truth is, your biology listens not only to what you eat or how you sleep. It listens to how you think about yourself. Your mindset is a signal too, and the way you see aging, health, and possibility can either accelerate decline or amplify renewal. Your body believes what you tell it. Modern neuroscience has proven that thoughts create chemistry. When you feel gratitude or purpose, your body releases growth and healing hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins. When you feel hopeless or fearful, stress hormones like cortisol rise, shutting down repair. That means hope isn't naive. It's biochemical. When you believe that you can heal, that your body is capable of change, your nervous system relaxes. Blood flow improves. Your immune system strengthens. Stem cells become more active. So, regeneration begins with mindset. Not in the sense of wishful thinking, but in the very real way your thoughts talk to your biology. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're simply waiting for your inner systems to hear once again that it's safe to grow. Signals of renewal. Every choice you make sends a signal. When you go to bed instead of scrolling your phone at midnight, you're saying, repair. When you choose real food over processed snacks, you're saying, rebuild. When you step outside and breathe fresh air, sunlight hits your skin, vitamin D rises, nitric oxide expands your blood vessels, and your body says, we're alive. Each of these moments stacks, small votes cast for the life you want to keep living. Regeneration isn't a single event. It's a conversation between you and your cells, and the language of that conversation is consistency. The slow power of time. The world trains us to expect instant results, instant weight loss, instant energy, instant success. But your body doesn't speak the language of urgency. It speaks the language of patience. Healing is slow because it's thorough. Your cells are rebuilding infrastructure, not patching leaks. That's why sustainable change happens quietly, then suddenly. You'll notice one day your mind feels clearer, your joints less stiff, your skin brighter. Those are the first visible echoes of thousands of silent cellular victories. So don't measure your progress by the mirror or the scale. Measure it by how often you honor your biology. Did you rest? Did you move? Did you nourish yourself? Did you give your body time? That's how regeneration wins, one quiet, faithful act at a time. Rest is a skill. Sleep is the ground where regeneration grows, but most of us treat it as optional. To heal deeply, learn to rest deliberately. Dim lights an hour before bed. Keep your room cool. Let the day's noise dissolve. When you enter sleep, you're not escaping life. You're engaging in maintenance. Each night, is like a construction shift. The glymphatic crew clears your brain. The immune patrol refreshes its ranks. DNA repair teams check their code. Stem cells move out to rebuild tissue. If you steal hours from sleep, you steal hours from repair. So protect rest the way you'd protect medicine, because that's what it is. Movement as a signal. You don't have to punish your body with workouts. Movement itself is a regenerative message. When you walk, stretch, lift, or dance, your muscles send molecular signals to your brain and heart. Keep us supplied, keep us strong. Blood vessels open. Stem cells migrate toward bone and muscle, ready to rebuild. Even light resistance training increases mitochondrial activity and protein synthesis. So move every day, not to burn calories, but to remind your body that you still need it, that life is still happening, that strength still matters. Motion is proof of purpose. Eating as communication. By now, you know the core foods that awaken regeneration. Pomegranates, walnuts, berries, leafy greens, omega-3 rich seafood, cacao, and tea. But there's a deeper truth about food. You're not feeding your hunger, you're feeding your future. Every meal either whispers, "Age faster," or sings, "Stay young." When you eat real, colorful, living foods, you give your stem cells raw materials to build from. You lower inflammation, improve circulation, and brighten the internal environment where healing happens. When you overeat processed food, sugar, or alcohol, you clutter that environment. The stem cells don't vanish, but they stall, confused, sluggish, exhausted. So think of every bite as a line of dialogue with your body. What do you want it to hear? Fasting and faith in the process. Intermittent fasting is not about deprivation. It's about trust. When you pause between meals, you're telling your body, "I believe you know what to do." You're giving it space to clean, recalibrate, and renew. People often fear hunger, but gentle hunger is not your enemy. It's your body turning inward to repair. During that space, old cells die off, stem cells awaken, insulin sensitivity improves, and inflammation drops. Fasting teaches discipline not just to the stomach, but to the mind. It reminds you that nourishment is not constant consumption, it's rhythm. Eat, rest, rebuild, repeat. The science of hope. Now let's return to something deeply human: hope. Every study on recovery, from surgery, illness, or chronic fatigue, shows the same thing. People who expect healing heal better. Your mind can't regrow a limb, but it can set the conditions where regeneration thrives. When you decide that your body is for you, not against you, stress hormones fall. Your immune system stops bracing for battle and starts focusing on repair. So, adopt this belief. I am not broken. I am rebuilding. Say it often enough, and your biology will begin to believe you. From maintenance to mastery. Once you start living in rhythm with your body, something shifts. You stop chasing health as a goal. You start embodying it as a state. You'll notice subtle things first. You wake before the alarm. Your mind feels calmer. Small injuries heal faster. Then deeper changes follow. Stable energy, strong immunity, sharper focus. These are signs that your defense systems are synchronized. Immune patrol active, inflammation calm, DNA repairs steady, stem cells flowing. That harmony is what youth really is. Not the absence of years, but the presence of balance. Your regeneration ripple. When you take care of yourself, it doesn't end with you. Your energy influences everyone around you. Health is contagious. A parent who sleeps well and eats clean models vitality for their children. A teacher who manages stress calmly teaches resilience without a word. A friend who walks, laughs, and cooks real food becomes living proof that life can feel better. So every choice you make sends ripples outward. Your regeneration is a quiet act of leadership. Aging reimagined. We often talk about aging as loss, losing strength, losing speed, losing beauty. But what if aging is simply the art of refinement? Over time, your body becomes wiser about energy, less wasteful, more selective. Your mind becomes more discerning about what matters. Your heart becomes deeper in compassion. Regeneration doesn't erase time. It collaborates with it. You are meant to evolve, not erode. Your body's promise. Inside your bones, your skin, your heart, your gut, millions of stem cells are waiting. They've been there since the day you were born. They haven't left you. They're just waiting for your signal. Every time you sleep deeply, they stir. Every time you fast, they awaken. Every time you nourish yourself with real food, they multiply. Every time you calm your mind, they travel freely through clear, healthy blood. You don't have to beg your body to heal. You only have to allow it. Because regeneration isn't something you start. It's something you stop interrupting. The daily ritual of renewal. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take a moment before reaching for your phone. Breathe. Feel your chest rise. That's your heart, still strong, still renewing. Drink water. Feed your body color. Step outside. Move. Laugh. And when the evening comes, rest. Not because you're tired, but because that's when the invisible work begins. Each day, lived this way, is another message to your cells. Keep going. Over time, those messages accumulate into something miraculous. Strength, clarity, freedom, joy. The closing truth. You are not the same person you were last year, literally. Most of the matter that made you has already been replaced. Your body is a river, not a statue. And as long as you're alive, that river keeps flowing, washing away the old, bringing in the new, carrying you forward. You can't regrow an arm like a starfish, but you can regrow your heart, your strength, your spark. And that may be an even greater miracle. So, take this as your reminder. You are not stuck. You are not in decline. You are alive in motion. You are, at this very moment, regenerating.